Hello,
Well, all right.
here we are.
This is definitely different.
Definitely different.
Very different. But
Very
different is good and change is good. And, we'll see what happens now. It feels like we're stepping into a new season, you
Oh,
know,
and by the way, I'm Corey,
and I am Kelly.
and we are unleashed.
We are. Yes.
Yeah,
It just feels like we're stepping into a new season because it feels different. It is different. And it's going to be different for our viewers too, because I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what
yeah.
happens.
Change is not comfortable.
It's not.
It's comfortable hopping in your car and just hanging out with you and, you know,
Yeah.
doing our thing.
Yeah.
So,
So I've obviously moved, and so we're now kind of far so we can't just, yeah, hop in the car and record.
yeah.
So, but we wanted to show up. Because it's been 2 months and it's been a while since we've recorded.
I've had a couple of people ask me if we were going to record anymore, and I was like, well, and actually, somebody asked me yesterday or the day before, and here we are.
So we are. It feels like a lifetime has happened since the last time we recorded. It's it's amazing how much life can happen in such a short amount of time. Especially since with moving and just with so much, I've had so much transition and I've had so many opportunities to like really practice all the things that we've talked about over the past 2 years, just staying present because I've really gotten out of a lot of practices that because we were seeing each other like 2 or 3 times a week. And
Yeah.
I think that having an accountability person, it just keeps you accountable. It has helped me to remember all the things, that we talk about. Um, and since I haven't had you like that consistently in my life over the past couple months, I've recognized that I've gotten pulled back into a lot of codependent,
Hmm.
a lot of people thinking, a lot of in my head, and I have to like constantly bring myself back to what I know. You know.
Well, I've had a lot of opportunities to practice not being codependent.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's
Thank you.
definitely work.
Yeah. And two, just the way that we speak, like you just helped me to recognize how I'm even speaking. Like I attached, like I said, I'm codependent, my code, and it's not. I'm not like me. That was just something that I learned that was placed on me. And so much, like I've just learned, and I am learning that the words that we speak, that is really who we are, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I and with the 12 step program, I've mentioned this before. It's a to go in and continuously say I am an addict. It's like I get it, but there's also a point where I am a recovered addict. Even that is like putting a story on myself. I just am. I am who I am today. And so I am Corey. I mean, I'll keep that label, you know.
Right.
But I've said some things that didn't sit right with people because I there's some things I just don't believe anymore. Um, you know, there's a and that's part of progress. I don't have to be stuck in a box that science wants to tell me that I have a disease that is incurable. I think everything is curable if you believe it. I mean, everything is, even if it takes dying to cure it.
Right.
you know,
Right.
I mean, there is a cure to everything.
Yeah, because I mean, we come here as a spirit that is whole. We are an adult whole spirit that has entered into this world, and we're just, all this stuff is placed on us, all these beliefs, all of, I mean, just being a man. I mean, there's so much just about being a man, so much about being a woman. Being, living in the United States is a whole thing, and then being, living in the South, you know, there's just so many different things that we learn that's just placed upon us. I mean, just so many things. And we think that it is us because that's all that we know. That's all that we've been taught. That's just part of it.
Yeah. I
But
was listening to something, one of those Carl Jung things on YouTube,
oh,
and it talks about like the first 40 years of your life are just learning incorrectly, and then the rest is unlearning what we've learned our whole life. And it stood out to me. I mean, it's about unlearning. There's so many things in our lives that just aren't true, that we grab a hold of. So
mhm. And you know, and I think mine started. I think it did start whenever I was around 40. Um, or maybe a little before then. It was like around 2012, like when mom, like before, when she found out she had cancer. It was like around that time. I was really praying for to be awakened. Like I was literally praying for that, to be aware, and my life really began to change, and I really started to see and understand behaviors, understand that, you know, that my choices, like accountability and just so many things, it just started pouring into me. And I was like, holy crap, like I've learned so much that is so not true.
yeah.
But we don't know. We don't know.
And a lot of the things we learn do have it's good guidance
Mhm. Mhm.
in seasons of our lives to help us move forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, when life actually comes at you and certain experiences happen in your life, and you have these core beliefs that are like fundamental deep inside me that I believe, and then all of a sudden they're not questioned, but it's almost like I'm not changing what I believe, but I understand it in a different way.
Yeah. I
You
like
know, truth is truth, and truth doesn't change, but the way that I can understand truth, it grows, I guess. You progress in it, and your knowledge and your understanding of it just gets better, or not. I don't know if better is the word. Um,
I'm thinking more depth or
it's just growth. Yeah,
yeah.
more in depth, and that's the scripture, line upon line, precept upon precept.
Mhm.
Um, we learn what we're ready to learn, and whenever we're ready for more or need more, um,
Mhm.
God will give that to us.
Yeah. Yeah. And some things just kind of fall off. Like the things that we realize just don't really matter, that we maybe
Mhm.
focused on so hard, you know, at certain times in our lives, they're not, they're just non-issues. They just don't matter, you know, as you grow and understand things. Like you said, I really like that. Yeah. Today I had a conversation about abandonment. It was really interesting how with abandonment, I was talking about how we can be triggered, you know, because I think that we all have abandonment issues within us. And it came to me that it's because we abandon ourselves. We abandon ourselves as soon as we people please, as soon as we keep our mouth shut, as soon as we, you know, we're abandoning our own spirit, and it leaves deep feelings. No? What you
Well, you went down a pathway that I've been going down for weeks. I think I might have mentioned it to you.
No, you haven't. I don't
Yeah,
think.
I mean, yeah, I think it is. Okay, so I've always been that person. in relationships, even when I was younger, where it was like, and most people are that way. We need closure. You know, when a relationship is ending, people feel like they need closure. And if you've ever been in a relationship that ended and you had that closure, nothing changed. I mean, so you said, okay, I'm going my way, you're going, but nothing changed. You leave feeling it's still like, okay, well, so am I supposed to feel different? But in a relationship, the whole abandonment thing, and you mentioned we abandon ourselves. Whenever you get in a relationship, there are certain parts of when I got into my relationships, there are certain parts of me that I was willing to compromise and
Mm-hmm.
let go of that part of me that I loved, that I missed, that I got used to not having around me because, and relationships are a compromise, but two independent people, you don't have to compromise yourself and you don't have to abandon yourself. And whenever a relationship ends, there's that pain and that feeling of loss. And it's really not the other person that you've lost. What I've lost is what I gave away. The parts of me that I abandoned, that I no longer had, that I had forgotten, parts of me that I had forgotten that I've had to get to know again,
Mm-hmm.
parts of me that I've had to bring back into my life and say, wait, I like that about me. I used to love doing that.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that I'm starting to do that I used to love doing that I haven't done in 20 years. And it's taken my children doing them with me where it's like, wait, I like doing this. This is stuff I love doing. And yeah, it was me that abandoned those things. And some sacrifice is good, to make sacrifice, but that doesn't mean that I need to completely abandon the things about me that I love. You
Right.
know?
Yeah, totally.
And abandoning is just completely erasing it from my life and no longer that part of me that I love is no longer there. So now all of a sudden I'm single, I'm alone, and it's like, who am I? I don't even remember because I abandoned me.
Mm-hmm.
So finding myself again has been the last couple months. And I've done a lot of listening to podcasts and stuff about it. And it's a whole paradigm shift to realize that there's nothing somebody else can do for me to help me find myself again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there just isn't. There's no going and getting closure or going and talking to a therapist or whatever. It's a lot of introspection, introspective behavior. I have to look within and say, what is it that I gave away? What is it that I abandoned about myself that I want back? And, I realize I love myself, and there's things about me that people probably wish I would abandon those things again. You know,
Yeah, totally.
but if you don't like me, well, I love me and I'm gonna be me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, too, with like being a mom and having your children leave home and because it's like I think moms, especially stay home, all the time. I mean, I only know my own experience, so I don't know. But like I just my whole life was my children and my husband. And so now that my children are gone and I'm coming to understand so much about my own abandoning myself and, just people pleasing and not using my voice to speak up for myself. I mean, I just abandoned myself. And so I'm having to come into like learning who I even am again. And it's fun. I mean, it really is fun. It's like being a kid and playing, learning the things that I like, just feeling into stuff. And I think just trying new things is fun. It's kind of like the scouts, you know, whenever kids are in scouts, it's like you have all these different badges, all these different things you're able to try out, you know, and do and or school, you know, sports. We just have opportunities to find the things that we like. And I just gave up a lot of those things just through life and it is fun.
And I
Fun.
don't think we have to for new mothers and for newly married people being truly independent. I mean, when you bring in codependence into a relationship or addiction or just dysfunction, you're both trying to fix each other.
Yeah.
And, I abandon parts of me because I feel like the other person needs me to be a certain way. And, like, I'm no relationship expert, obviously, but I have learned that there's no relationship I'll ever go into where I have to compromise and change who I am. It's like, look, this is how I do it. And I love how you do it. And we can both do things our own way and still love each other
Hmm.
and support each other.
Hmm.
So yeah, abandoning myself. That's funny that you brought that up, that you feel like you abandoned yourself, because that's what I've been working on,
Hmm.
is finding myself, and it feels good. Um I came to tears the other night. I think I told you that, tears. I came to good tears, and they weren't like crying tears. I haven't had those sad crying tears for a while, but these tears were like, that's me. That's that's the me that I haven't known since I was 18 years old, or
Like
even before that.
like the sensitive crying, is that what?
No, I was crying. Well, the sensitive me, yeah. I mean, that's part of me that I love, you know,
Uh-huh.
the fact that I'm sensitive. But from my early relationships, parts of me that I abandoned, that I thought were what people do in relationships, just those misconceptions of what a relationship is. Um, we really, sacrifice is important, but it's not sacrificing ourselves.
Yeah. Hmm.
We can sacrifice our time, we can sacrifice certain things, but it's not about sacrificing ourselves and abandoning who we are
Hmm.
to make someone else happy, because that's never going to happen.
No, and then we're miserable, and we can't, right? We can't make other people happy. That happiness and that joy, it comes from within us.
And so on top of that, you're trying to make somebody else happy by abandoning yourself, and therefore you're becoming unhappy. And now you got two unhappy people because I'm trying to make that person happy. They're trying to make me happy. And
It's
it's just,
control. It's control because we're trying to make another person happy in the way that we think is going to make them happy, and it's
mm-hmm.
not work.
No,
Yeah.
it'll never work.
Mm-mm. No.
No. But I tell you, it sure does work if you work on creating happiness in your own life.
Yeah.
And I know that, you always say like attracts like. Once I'm just happy, you know, and it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. I'm not always happy.
Hmm.
Sometimes I just want to lay in bed and do nothing. And I've actually kind of gotten happy about being able to do that and not feel guilty.
Yes, that is huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yesterday I was like feeling guilty because I'm like, I have so many things to do and I just need to rest. And I'm like, when did we learn that it's not okay to rest?
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
it's so interesting to really analyze those things. I'm such an analytical person. I analyze everything. It's not probably the healthiest thing, but at the same time, it's the only way to really to grow and to not live with guilt. It's like when that guilt comes up or that shame or whatever comes up that's beating us up in our minds. It's like, who even is that? That is not me,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
It's voices is just things that we've learned. It's stuff that's been put on us in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome being able to be me, you know, and I'm not accepted in some places. I'm asked to leave sometimes, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and that's okay. That's okay because I'm at peace, and I'm not, you know, I have a lot of growth that I need to continue making, uh, but I am no longer abandoning myself for other people's happiness. You know,
Yeah.
there's things that I need to do for my mental health, for my spiritual health, for my physical health, and you know, um, I'm happy, and it's a new experience. You know, it is, um, and it's when I'm not feeling happy, it's time to analyze, be analytical, or whatever.
Uh-huh.
You know, sit back and think, what's wrong? What's
Yeah.
wrong with me?
Yeah.
And maybe nothing's wrong. You know, maybe I just need to experience it so I can remember what happiness feels like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's interesting that you brought that up. I like that because that's been a big part of my last couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, it just came up in conversation with my son today. Yeah, and I was just thinking about how with we have so many opportunities with abandonment, because like our mom dying. I mean, that's huge. Like she's gone. That's abandonment when someone dies, you know what I'm saying? And that's like complete, it brings up so many feelings in relationships and just, I mean, we're going to have so much loss in this life. And until we can become whole within ourselves and stop abandoning ourselves, then we're okay with other people. People can do what they want to do what they need to do, and it's not going to trigger us and affect us if we are whole within ourselves and if we're not abandoning ourselves. That's the thoughts that came to me as I was speaking. It's so interesting whenever like we're sharing and talking and sharing things with people. Like so many times I'm learning from the things that I'm speaking. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's
Mhm.
so good. Yes. It makes so much sense that I've abandoned myself my whole life. And that's why it's very triggering whenever I get abandoned because I've done it to myself and I've got that within me that feels that way. But I'm constantly, it's a daily thing to recognize these things and to make different choices and do things differently.
Yeah,
I mean, progress and growth, we will for eternities. I mean, that's just, we will. And I think it's wonderful. I love it.
yeah, yeah. The abandonment, abandoning ourselves, and you mentioned how I'm very emotional, and I always have been. Well, most of my life I have been,
Hmm.
but I did abandon that for a long time. And I think a lot of that had to do with drug use, you
Hmm.
know.
Oh,
That was a
much.
good way to suppress being emotional. Um, and that was a part of me that I abandoned, maybe out of protection for myself. Um, and I won't go too deep into that, but I like the fact that I'm emotional.
Hmm.
You know, I like the fact that I can connect with somebody and really be there with them. And, you know, I've got a really good friend that's been going through a really hard time. And it's like I can be there and give them a big hug
Hmm.
and really a man, and not just a man side hug. I mean, a real hug that was uncomfortable. At first, it was like for him, it was like, whoa, but I grabbed him and I said, nah, come here, dude. I've known you my whole life. Give me, and we embraced for probably 5 seconds. And
Oh.
he started tearing up. And this is a manly man, you
Hmm.
know? And it was like, that's what he needed. And I could feel that because he doesn't have, he's such a manly man that he doesn't allow that.
Yeah.
And,
Hmm.
you know, that's who I am. And that's, a part of me that for whatever reason, um, I forgot and I let go of. But
Because it's
yeah,
the one, because you're a boy, you're not supposed to be like that. You're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to be sensitive. You're not, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff.
according to some men,
Uh-huh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, according to some men that were very influential in my life, said, "Don't cry,"
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got angry instead.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the my sensitivity went to anger,
Mm-hmm.
and it came out through fighting a lot when I was young and just being mean and you know
Yeah.
so I would rather be very sensitive and care about people instead of be insensitive and cut other people down, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Empathy is really a beautiful thing. And I love to see men who have empathy like that and who can feel.
yeah,
I love that about you.
yeah. And going back to where we started, there's so much that we have to unlearn, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's stuff that was learned, and we've talked about the generational thing, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so awesome to see people that are a lot older than us that are growing and learning
Mm-hmm.
and or unlearning things that they've known for their entire life. And it's like how awesome that a person in their last years can say, wow, I really got that wrong,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Mm.
And so yeah, um life experiences, like I said, it doesn't change the truth, it changes how I understand the truth, how I understand the way things work, and that um I have a lot of stuff I need to unlearn.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we do.
a, a lot of things that just aren't true, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not understanding the truth differently, because the truth is the truth. It's learning the truth more accurately.
Yes, yes. Because I have had a lot of beliefs that just aren't, and not even like religious beliefs, but just beliefs about me, about my body, about just
Mm-hmm.
so many things that's not true.
Yeah.
It is. It's just having to unlearn so much.
It's like, oh, wait, like we first started, I got to get this lighting right.
Yeah, totally.
Right. Somebody
Mhm.
might see my wrinkles.
Oh man, I don't know.
It's like, wait, I'm pushing 50. You know,
Yeah.
got some grays coming in. It's
Yes,
like,
and see, and that is abandoning ourselves. It's abandoning our bodies and what we look like and how we're showing up in the world. This is it. Like, I know I was looking at myself, I'm like, man, my eyes are small because I don't have on makeup, because makeup usually makes my eyes bigger. And I'm sitting here judging myself. Why? Why am I judging myself? It's just so interesting how we do that to ourselves. And now I'm not judging myself. Who is judging myself? What voice is that that's judging me? It's not me. Because I am so grateful for my body, you know?
yeah,
It's just really, it's an interesting thing whenever you really start to get to know you and who you really truly are. Our identity first and foremost is a child of God, you know?
yes, I do.
And it's just like that's really our identity.
Yeah,
I'm a spirit that came from a father and mother, and like what you see, like, I mean, I'm gonna leave this body and it's gonna go into the ground, and I'm just gonna continue on.
this bag of earth that I wear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. You're
There's that body.
part of just our perfectionist mentality. Have you had a hard time with the fact that your boxes aren't all unpacked and everything's perfect in your room?
No, I'm
That's
okay
one. That's great. That's awesome. Because
because I can't.
3 years ago, you would have been, no,
Yeah.
I got to do this somewhere else. They need to think that my life's perfect.
Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah, yeah. I was thinking, okay, maybe I need to hang up something, or but
Yeah. Cover it up. Cover up who I am.
where I am, and
Abandon me.
that might be here for a year. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Uh,
It is whatever it is.
It's funny. I've got customers that have boxes that have been there for years. And every time I go in their house, they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to get to that." And I'm like, "I've been doing this at your house for years. You don't have to tell me that ever again, please."
Yes, seriously.
They, "Oh, excuse the mess." Again for 10 years?
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like, be you.
Exactly. And we can only do so much in our lives, and it's like I'm just learning that some things are just really not that hugely important. Like that's just stuff. I've got other things that are more important than that right now. And I'm fine with that. And maybe resting in bed is more important than that sometimes. You
Yeah.
know, cooking
And
a
that's one of the things that I actually say regularly when people do tell me that, even new customers. I just say, people live here. This is a house, and it's not supposed to be perfect because people and bodies are in this place. You
yeah.
know,
Mhm.
if we knew how much we desquamate every day, how much skin we shed every day, I mean, it's a
I
house. It's
Yeah.
a house, and it's us. And it's not, it doesn't have to be perfect, but some people keep a perfect place. And I don't know, you
Yeah.
know,
There's some OCD in that as well.
yeah, I don't know how happy I am whenever everything's perfect all the time, but I did clean my room and really got down on it 2 days ago, and it felt really good,
Mhm.
you know?
Mm. Cleanliness and order is really good. It is really important. I love order. I love having places for things. And that's kind of why that's still there, is because I don't really have a place for everything. And there's like I painted a lot over the past 3 years. Like being in that apartment, I painted a lot. And so I don't really have a lot of place. I don't want it all over my walls. So now I'm like, what am I going to do with all these pictures? So I may need to just like sell them or something. I don't know. But I don't want all that on my walls. So now I got boxes of paintings. Oh, so yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah. It's good to get to know ourselves again, those parts of ourselves that we've abandoned.
It is.
Um,
I love to paint.
and
I've
it's,
learned that.
it's so healing. It really is.
It is. It really is. And
Yeah.
we don't have to abandon ourselves for other people anymore. The people, and that's the thing about it, like the people who are truly in our lives who really love us, they really want us to be who we are.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that, I feel that. I feel like people in my life want me to like be happy with who I am and not try to put on masks and
A healthy person wants you to be who you are.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Unhealthy person wants you to be who they want you to be.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
that's why some people fall out of our lives.
That is true.
The
Well,
healthier and the more we work on ourselves, some people aren't comfortable with a healthy person,
mm,
you know?
mm,
And it's interesting for me to see like how a lot of people are still caught in the me,
mm,
and all I have to do is one little thing, and immediately it's a sign that Cori is his old self,
mm,
you know? And just because I do something that once upon a time was destructive to me
mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that it has to be destructive to me today.
Right.
I don't have to have those same beliefs that I've had for so long that just aren't true to me anymore.
Mhm.
And it has freed me from a lot of like abusive behavior, you know?
And I'm sure abusive thoughts towards yourself.
It's, yes, very abusive thoughts, you know? And I say I've never been suicidal, but I've wished I was dead many times,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Oh,
Just, just miserable because I was not me.
mhm,
Living a life that just was not mine.
mhm.
So,
Yeah, when we are taking chemicals, all the time that mess with our minds and our awareness and just everything. I mean, it does, it makes us not ourselves. We cannot be ourselves when we're constantly high or constantly loaded or drunk or, whatever, in different states of mind. That is not us. We are not us when we're in different states of mind. We have abandoned ourselves. And, and I mean, it's all because we don't feel safe. I mean, there's a safety issue with that as well. I don't know where, I mean, that's a whole other topic, but I mean, we do so many things. We do so many things because as children, we just learn behaviors. We learn it's protection. We just want to protect ourselves from hurt and from pain, and we end up hurting ourselves and being in pain.
That's why they're called mind altering substances.
Hmm.
We want to alter the way we feel or change the way we feel instead of sit in it and wonder what it is we're feeling. You know?
Yeah.
So, but my relationship with a lot of things has changed so much, you know? Like I don't have this feeling of, oh, if I take a prescription, I have to eat the whole bottle,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or whatever it may be. Uh, I I've been making a lot of progress in my obsessiveness. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I do something, I get obsessed. When I work, it's like I got to go do 20 jobs and then I'm exhausted
Mm-hmm.
and I need a day off instead of just a constant do what I can do and then call it a day.
Right.
You
More.
know,
Mm-hmm.
I've always expected too much out of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's I don't know where that was learned or what, but it's definitely it's good to
Oh, I know where it's learned.
yeah. Perfectionism is definitely deep within us.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Did I ever tell you the time that I mowed the camp? And I mean, the camp it's a big area to mow. It takes all day. And I mowed and I decided I was not going to mow the last line. I mowed the whole grass. I parked the tractor, got off, and I did not mow the final strip. And I was like, that's awesome.
We're able to leave it.
And I ended up going out and mowing it.
Yeah,
But
but you did leave it.
the fact is, I was able to mow and not have a perfectly mowed yard where I'm, that's not a part of me. I've always had that perfectionist mentality.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
so that was just something I thought was funny.
Hmm.
Yeah, progress is good.
It is. It is. And to like talking about addiction too. I've been eating so much sugar over the past 2 months. I've gotten into fallen back into some bad habits with food and stuff, and it's really affected me. And so I've had to like completely, like I was eating so much ice cream. I'd buy those little things of ice cream like every other day or every 3 days. Like it was a thing. And I'm like, well, ice cream is not, it's not tequila. It's not like a margarita or something. I'm like, so I'm justifying my, ice cream. And then I would put the Twix on it and, I mean, I was like sugar and out. And I was
You're
like,
gonna do it. You go for
I
it.
I mean, I go all out. But what the problem is that my system, my fingernails are showing me that I've got an imbalance in my system. And so I'm like, so like 2 days ago, I was like, I'm cutting out the sugar. I'm not doing this anymore. And I can, whenever I decide something, when I make a decision to do something, I just do it. I don't, or I do or I don't. And so yeah. So I'm
So
going
when did the sugar thing start?
probably a couple months ago, whenever we were moving and stuff, and just I don't
You,
even
un-
know.
you,
It
you
creeped back into my life.
but you do understand what was going on.
Oh, complete self-soothing. Like soothe, like is complete. Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. All the change of, your life, the changes. Um, I mean, it's a good way to not feel,
Yeah,
to
totally.
get through this process of moving to a new place and the change and all the new things in your life. Well, a lot of that stuff you don't want to feel. So a great way not to feel is to eat.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I've eaten so much stuff that I would not have eaten 6 months ago, you know?
Yeah.
And so even last night or recently, I was thinking, it could have been today, that I need to start doing another alternate day fast because I mean that cuts stuff out so quickly and I'm able to see things so quickly and it's just so good.
Yeah. I do the intermittent fasting still. That's just part of my life. I don't eat until
Oh,
the afternoon. Um,
yeah.
and I think the other, about a week ago, I guess, I woke up and I had just eaten the night before, and I woke up and I was really hungry. And I was like, man, I am just starving. And then I stopped and I said, what's going on? What's going on with me? And I took me a couple hours of really like sitting and thinking, and I realized I'm not hungry. I got something that I'm wanting to suppress. I got something that I don't want to feel. And sugar is a great drug.
It is. Oh, absolutely.
And if you don't want to feel something, fill your belly really, fill your belly really good with a lot of sugar and a lot of crap. And you don't have to feel anything anymore because you've filled that whole void. Your belly's full, your body's working hard, your brain's shutting down because it's working on digesting, and you don't have to feel
Hmm.
because your digestive system is now filling. And that's what you're feeling now is you're feeling your stomach work and your intestines work and everything, your body absorbing all this stuff. But when you're fasting, you don't have that. You don't have your body working, so you have to feel.
Hmm.
And so I've been working on before I eat to actually sit back and think, am I eating because I need nutrition, or am I eating to avoid something?
That's good. I've done that too in the past. I've gone to my pantry like late at night and I'm like, why? I've eaten dinner. I don't need food. I don't have to, especially whenever we fast and we have that experience, it's like you realize what is going on. And yeah, it was completely, I was doing it for emotional reasons. And I'm like, no, I just need some water.
So my whole Zen habit that I've struggled with, that I quit for like 3 months and started again
Wait, what?
with
Meditating?
nicotine.
Oh, Zen, that. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
uh-huh.
the nicotine stuff. Um, I was riding with William this past weekend, and he said, "Dad, I really would love it if you'd quit doing that. I don't like it when people have habits that they just can't quit."
Mm.
I was like, "Man." And
Wow.
so I asked him, I said, "Will you fast with me?" Or the conversation went to fasting, and he said, I'll fast with you
Oh.
to help. I'll fast with you to help you overcome that." And I was like, I started crying. I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, let's do it. And that was Saturday. And
Wow.
so Sunday I'd fast, and he forgot,
Hmm.
but he still had it on his mind. And at 14, I mean, hunger is hunger.
All right.
But I could,
You could have fasted for 4 hours and I was fasting.
the fact that he was willing to do that and that he wanted to do it for me gave me so much strength during my fast. And that's 4 days that he was a catalyst to it help me move forward in my life and to progress. And I loved that, you
I
know.
do too.
And
That is
the,
awesome.
the fact that he doesn't like the fact that I have something that,
Habit.
huh?
Yeah, he doesn't like you having a habit.
Yeah, maybe something that I need even more than anybody else.
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yeah.
and a way to suppress what I want to feel,
Mm-hmm.
that I don't want to feel, or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was a good experience.
Yeah, that
Anyway,
is.
fasting, um, fasting is amazing. I know we've talked about that so many times,
Mm-hmm.
but fasting, quiet time, meditation, all the things that Jesus did that so many people just, yeah, I follow Jesus. Well, when's the last time you fasted? You know?
It's been a while since I've fasted, actually.
Yeah. And that wasn't a question to you. That's
No,
just a
I know it
question
wasn't.
in
No,
general.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying though. Yeah,
Yeah.
it has been a while.
I wonder what the longest Jesus went without fasting. You know,
Hmm.
I bet it wasn't a week.
Yeah.
I would bet that because I mean, it is just such a powerful way to progress and become more like he is,
To
and
become
to,
lighter.
huh,
To become lighter.
to become lighter, to progress, and for a person to live a perfect life, I bet it took a lot of fasting.
Hmm.
You know, so yeah, life is good. It's been so long since we've gotten together.
No, it has.
How
Yeah.
long have we been talking?
It's been like 2 months since we've been able to do this.
Yeah.
Not sure. We talked for about 6 minutes before, so like close to 45 minutes, I think.
Oh, well, we'll leave it at that. We'll come with a topic. This was more of a hey, good to see
Yeah.
you again.
Yeah.
But
Yes, and we are still out here and we do still plan on doing this. And it may change. Like I feel like it is a little bit different
yeah,
doing it like this because we're able to actually look at each other instead of sitting right
yeah,
next to each other. I don't know, it feels more conversational.
yeah, yeah. So great topic, even if nobody knows what it was, abandonment,
Yeah, we had a
you
lot of
know,
topics in there. Yeah.
abandoning me for somebody else. It's not healthy. It's
No.
not healthy at all because the parts of me that I love, if I abandon those because I love somebody else and want to make them happy,
Mm-mm.
it's
No.
impossible. And then you just have two unhappy people. Me abandoning myself, trying to make somebody else happy. Never going to work. So I love you.
Awesome. I love you.
I love y'all.
Love y'all too.
Nobody watches this. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, we'll do this again soon.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, now that we've got Zoom and we can do it like at any time, we can do it at midnight. I mean, we can do it whenever,
Yeah,
we'll be
it's
able to.
awesome.
And now I know how to do it. So,
Yeah.
and two, we can now start, I think, having people join us
Oh, that'd be cool.
that can get on Zoom and we can like start. I've had a few people that reached out to me about that. And so I think I think we're moving into a new season and different topics and just different things. And I think that it would be good to expand and try something new.
That would be really cool to have somebody bring a new topic in,
Hmm.
you know, a
Yeah,
new perspective to things, and it'd be a great way to grow.
that would be. We could just
Yeah.
have someone come in and bring the topic with them, whatever they want to talk about, and we can just discuss it.
Yes,
That's an
that'd be great.
idea.
Awesome.
Anybody out there that wants to talk about anything, let us know because we will. Let's do it.
If not, we'll keep talking.
Uh,
I love you.
I love you.
All
That's
right.
awesome. All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.